Hey friends, my name is Brent. This is Live Free and Tool On, and before you see all of the Ryobi 18-volt cordless nailers or fasteners, whichever one that you would actually want to call it. And I'm going to tell you the difference between all of these and which ones you should use for different tasks. And I'm actually going to show you what they look like once you nail them. Now, if you're new to cordless battery fasteners or just even pneumatic fasteners, or if you're very apprehensive about switching from pneumatic fasteners to battery fasteners, maybe this video will help you out. First of all, when you go to a battery fastener, you don't need to use, well, any hoses, compressors, or anything. You're just going to use one of these right here. Now, here is something that's hilarious. These all run off air, just like the pneumatic ones, but the little tank is right here, here, and here. And that's actually really cool because it's not just spring-loaded, it is air-loaded, and, well, they work all off this battery right here. This is the 18 OnePlus battery. And this is a long-standing battery with Ryobi, and they haven't changed the form or fit for these. So it's retroactive to all the old tools, and it's always going to be used for the new tools, and that is what you want to see. Now laid before you, you have the 23 gauge pin nailer. This is the awesome crown stapler. This is the 18 gauge brad nailer. This is the 15 gauge brad nailer. And this is the framing nailer. Now, all of these have a specific purpose to them, and I'm going to talk about them, and I hope that that helps you. And if you're a carpenter out there and you're looking to get into Ryobi, you just don't think that they're worth it, well, I've built an addition. I've done a ton of work with this. I've done a ton of work with the 15 gauge. The 18 gauge, well, I'm going to tell you, it is my most used fastener or cordless nailer. The little crown stapler, this thing has a huge purpose to it, and the little pin nailer, well, if you have furniture or other things you want to hide the nails, well, you're not going to see it, and you reduce all of your work with finishing. But we're going to talk about that in a minute. But first, let's do a little bit of a close-up. Let's do a test, and you can see what they all look like side by side, and then maybe that'll help you with your decision. The first one we're going to take a look at is the pin nailer. Now, this is a 23 gauge pin nailer. The purpose for this is to hide the nails. Now, it's not so much structural, but it's going to hold boards together. It runs off of the battery. It slides right in. It's super easy to use. You have a double locking trigger, so you're going to pull that down. You're actually going to pull the trigger, and that's going to fasten. Now, if we take a look at this right here, and we're just going to shoot it in, you can tell it's ultra quiet. Now, I'm going to show this up close. Can you see where the nail is? Well, it's actually right there. And that is so hard to see. In fact, I'm actually going to mark it with a little marker so you can see what it is. Now, this is good from 1/2 inch to 1 3/8 inch nails, and they look a little bit different than all the other ones because they're more like needles than nails. You can see that right there. There is no head. And this is what a typical 18 gauge looks like. You can see that right there. And it has a head on it. So these are very well hidden. And that's the purpose, right? You want to hide them. But it's great for a lot of fine furniture. If you're going to do a lot of repairs, hold it together. But you got to make sure you use glue. Not structural. Let me repeat that. Not structural. Now, if we move on to the crown stapler, this is what the staples look like right here. Take a good look at that right there. They just drop right in. You press it in, and here's the big thing about this. If you look at any door casings, any of the trim around those, you're going to see this. That's because if it's a really light, like pine or something like that, and you need to have a more, I guess, not structural, just a stronger fastening, you're going to see a lot of crown staples just like this, but we're going to throw it in, and you can see this one pretty well where that's at. It's just a little staple, but it's like having two little brad nailers put together. That is exactly what this is, and it just works really, really well. So I love doing it on really soft crown moldings, a lot of casings around doors. If I just want to hold that trim on there a little bit more, well, I'm going to use that. And here I'm going to put crown, so you can see that. But it works and it holds it. So if you're blowing through with brad nails, well, you want to go to the crown stapler, and that's where that's at. Now, a couple different things about this. You can adjust the power on this. It works out really well. You can do, it's kind of hard to see, but you can hold the trigger down and you can just pop, pop, pop just by holding the trigger. It has a multi, or you can just do single where you actually have to pull the trigger. There's a lot of good things about this, but you can do 3/8 inch to 1.5 inch crown staples with this. Now we're going to move on to the brad nailer, and if you take a look at the brad nailer, the brad nails, well, they're 18 gauge, but they have a head on them right there. You can see that, and all they do is they just slide right in right here. We're going to close that. Now you can adjust the power here. It's very similar to the crown stapler, and it has the multi too. So you know what? Let me put it on the multi just so you can see what that looks like. I'm going to pull the trigger, and all right, so ready? Pull the trigger in. I didn't actually have to pull the trigger anytime, but I don't technically use it that way all the time. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what this looks like. We're going to press down and pull the trigger, and that's all that took. And let's see what this looks like. And that's what that looks like right there. So it does go down into the wood, but if you have a really soft piece of wood, that means it could blow through it. And I mean, do you really want to do that? You gotta choose. So if you have hardwoods, it's fine. It's not structural, again, it's not, I mean, it is for trim, that's what this is for, but if you have a lot of like hard type of trim or anything like that, this is going to work out just fine. Like I said, I use it the most, and it has a lot of good features, and it's not expensive. Now we have to move on. This is probably the biggest, I guess, trim nailer that I have. This is the 15 gauge trim nailer. It's got some size to it. You know, it's got right here, you've got some adjustments, and all of these can do how deep you actually want to put the fastener down in there. And this one has the multi as well, so you can do a lot of different nails at the same time just by holding the trigger in. And this one, just like the crown and the brad, they have a little button right here. So you're going to press that with this finger in, and then you're going to pull this trigger. Now this can do 3/4 inch up to 2.5 inch 15 gauge brad nails. And I don't know if I told you about this one. This one's 5/8 to 2 inches on the 18 gauge, but on the 15 gauge, this is a little bit stronger. And this one, you actually have your power settings right there. So it's a little bit different, but let me show you what this looks like. It's a little bit louder, but the head is just the same as the 18 gauge. Let me just go ahead and circle this. So you can see what that looks like, and this can just do bigger, deeper. Like I said, it's not structural, so you're not going to be doing a lot of framing with this, but it's a beast. I do like it. It's bigger than the other ones, but it's not bigger than the next one. This is the brand new 21 degree 18 volt framing nailer. This is structural, and it does nails just like this right here. So it is a professional tool, and when I say professional, it has all of the settings. It has shock absorbers. I've actually done a review on this as well. You can check that out. But this is what you're going to frame your house. If you look right here, you have depth settings right there. This is a little wheel right there. Right here, if you can see it, you're going to be able to see, or maybe you can see it a little bit easier right here. You're going to have your multiple or single nailer. Now, I'm a huge fan of the framing nailer, and this works out a little bit different. So we're actually just going to slide our nails up and through here just like this. We're going to pull this back, release it. It's going to hold it in there. Now, this is not cheap, but it's not as expensive as some of the other ones. It does have a rafter hook right here, if you can see that right there. It's just a beast, and it's awesome. So let's go ahead and show you what this looks like. Whoa, that's got some serious power built into it. And I've got to tell you, what you can do with this is absolutely incredible. I'm telling you, this tool right here you can build an entire house with. And it's cheaper than anything else. You can actually remove this magazine. You can put extended magazines on there too, so you can just get more work out of it. Now, let's review what it looks like between all of these. Let's take a look. You can see the pin nailer. That is awesome. You can even see it. Then you go to the crown. How awesome is that? The crown is perfect for some of those soft wood you really just need to keep together. Then you step it up to the 18 gauge. You can see what that looks like. Then you can see the 15 gauge, something a little bit bigger. And then you can see the framing nailer. And if you just look at all of these, it is telling. Okay, so that is a quick, in a nutshell, review of what all of these different cordless 18-volt nailers do. Now, if you're on the fence, maybe this showed you that they can do it. They can do hardwood, they can do softwood. There's a tool for just about anything that you want to do on the Ryobi Volt lineup. And listen, I'm not sponsored by Ryobi. I've just used these tools. I have a lot of confidence in these tools, and I've done a ton of work with them. And I love reviewing the tools because they just perform so well. Now, if you all like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you found it helpful as well, I'd appreciate that like again. Now, if you would do me a huge favor, I do a ton of reviews just like this. So go down there, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell as well, so you know whenever I release any of these really cool, awesome tool review videos. My name is Brent. This is Live Free and Tool On. Get out there, go build something. Make mistakes, learn from those mistakes, and then pass on the solutions to the next generation. And we will all be better for it at the end of the day. And I can't wait to see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.